we're in. So we should be looking forward for that transition, which is ultimately in Yahweh is life. So I want us to have that mindset, and let's change our perception of what death really is. So with that being said, I want to go into a little of the customs. My eyes are slowly dying, so I have to correct them. This is what you would call it evil eyes in the Hebrew. Right? So if your eyes were needed correction and you weren't correcting them, they consider evil because they're failing you. And so we have to do things to, here we go, the corrective method. Now they're no longer evil. And I can go ahead and read to you, to my brothers and sisters. With that being said, a part of the story of Abraham is the record of his concern and his great care for his burial. So if you're familiar with the scriptures, and you can find this in Genesis 23. One of the things he does is he buys a cave for his wife, a tomb. And who's his wife? Who's Abraham's wife? Sarah, absolutely. In Genesis 23, you can actually grab it and go to it. You see where he buys the tomb. Yeah, go ahead and read that.
Genesis 23, y'all can hear me, huh? Genesis 23, and I'll start at verse 4. Actually, verse 3. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you.
Doesn't that sound familiar? Are we strangers and sojourners right now? Read on.
Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my Lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead.
So this is one of the first things that he thought about. He wasn't thinking about getting a business when he got into the land. He wasn't thinking about, the type of, I want a house, a white picket fence on the hill. He was thinking about the inevitable. And that's what I said earlier. The victory's in the preparation. Too often times that we get down to this moment, which we know is inevitable, and then people start fumbling around. Don't know where stuff is. Don't know people's final wishes and what they desire. And then he lived as an Israelite, but you got him departing like he was a preacher in a Christian, Baptist, Episcopal, Seventh-day Adventist type church. You see what I'm saying? And he would have never liked that. He didn't live like that. Read.
Verse 7. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah.
That's right. That's very important to remember this, because this would be something that would be carried over through generations. How many of us have given our money to people that have nothing to do with our culture, and it's not, and what we have or what we haven't obtained, it never benefits our people. So the responsibility of an Israelite is to leave an inheritance to his children's children. That's what Abraham was thinking about. And the first thing that he could do would be that plot of land, which would be used for what? For burial. Read.
That he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he had, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it me for possession.
Keep in mind, he made this acquisition in the land of Canaan. We need to be doing that now, which eventually would become what's the promise to the Israelites.
Right.
So we need to do that. We know, again, we talk about Jerusalem, we talk about Israel, which is fine, but the earth is the Most High's and the fullness thereof. All of this is ours. All right, come on.
Of a burying place amongst you.
Mm-hmm.
And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth. And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying,
Right.
Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein, I give it thee. In the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee, bury thy dead.
Now watch this. This is very important to hear this, and then I'm going to just kind of get into some information. Read.
And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee hear me. I will give thee money for the field.
He didn't want, it was so important to him that he said, I need to purchase this. You know why? Because we need to take ownership. This nation's been able to manipulate us and get to the tune of extortion when it comes to us dying. They get you, they romanticize death, get you gotta buy this casket, it's gotta be elaborate, and it goes against the Tahara or the biblical way of actually being buried. And so we still have this Western mindset, and then they play on your sympathy, your sadness, and we not knowing that it's our responsibility to have ownership of that, where they shouldn't be using that. I'll get to your question, if you can hold them, and just so at the end, because I'm limited with time. Go ahead.
He says, Take it of me, I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there.
He said, I want to pay for this. I want to have ownership of it, so you can't take it away. How many times we see our dead bodies being exhumed? They can put parts over it, ran over. You got bodies that were discovered recently. Where was that? They just brought it out. Behind some prison in Mississippi and things like that. They just took over the land. We don't have ownership, and that's desecrating a graveyard. Most graveyards should be fenced in, but we don't see that a lot in the South. They're opened up because we don't have ownership. A lot of the funeral homes used to be owned by black. That's why the so-called white man's taken over and has made money from that, making money off your misery. You are still his cash cow. We have to break the cycle in understanding even our responsibility, not just in life, but also in death. Read on and we'll get to the end of that.
And verse 14, and Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, My Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth. 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant.
So this same land that was purchased, this will be used throughout generations. That was the same land that even Joseph would come to, where considering Joseph took an oath, and it was so important to Joseph about where his bones went. A lot of times we don't care about I'm dead. It doesn't matter. Do you know they carried around Joseph's bones in the wilderness because he made them swear an oath? All right, give me the book of Genesis 50 and 25. And then we'll get Exodus 13 and 19. I just want to show you kind of the importance, and then I'm going to go over this document that I think every one of us should know about and take advantage of it, because a lot of the things that they're telling you, how many of you know Esau don't tell the truth? We know. So anytime his mouth moving, he usually what? Lying. All right, so we know that. That's simple arithmetic. He lying. Speaking, he lying. So, a lot of times when it comes to this time, if you don't have the information, if you don't know your rights, everything he's telling you, now you're subject to. So we want to get rid of all that. Go ahead, read.
Exodus chapter 50, verse 25. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, The Most High will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
You see what he said? He said, you shall carry up my bones. Most of us have not let our people know what our plans are. To leave an inheritance to your children's children is also to give them a directive after death. A lot of our people don't know what to do afterwards. We dead, and somebody else come up, they read your obituary. I represent the Hebrew Israelite Burial Society, and you got people that already have been proactive and have their obituary already done. And they're still living. You see what I'm saying? So ain't nobody getting up, lying, prophesying about you, making something else, and they've given directives to their children. So, and there's a document that we can fill out, and it will be made available to you if you send me your email. This will be after the class, and you can do even a virtual class. The Hebrew Israelite Burial Society will show you, go through the document with you, and then you can get into the specifics of it. But I did mine. I'll go over a little bit of it. Mine is done. It's It's a legitimate document. It's certified, it has the seal on it. It's been authorized, notarized, and this is something that we have to do so that we make sure that we give directives. So you can put on there, I don't want no Christian pastor to come in with no suit to talk about me. Because a lot of times, sometimes between husband and wife, things aren't meshing, you don't have the, and then her family or his family get involved, he was an Israelite, and then he got on church shoes, with slacks and stuff. Man, come on, man.
It have
It's hadn't it happened?
I've seen it,
Osh?
yeah.
We have to think about the responsibility of the person that was living and what they want. A lot of times it dies with those people. We're reading about what he left behind. You see how powerful that is? And we can still use it for now. So it's still life. Death for the Israelite is still life. All right? We serve a power of the living and not of the dead. All right? So if things are still moving, we still living. All right? Even what you left behind. Being able to give your children directives. But what do you want them to do after you go? What do you want them to do? You don't even have it written down. Don't nobody know nothing. Guess what? Your memory dies. Your legacy dies. Your grandchildren don't know nothing. What are you leaving the people that are after you make your transition, which is an exciting time for the righteous? What do you want them to do? That's the inheritance.
Because I had an aunt that died about 6-7 years ago. She had diabetes, but she was always a businesswoman, but I didn't know she was that savvy. So when we went to the funeral, she said, but how we gonna do the funeral? She already put everything in place, burial, the insurance. She amazed me. And when I saw it, I was like, what? I was amazed. And she wasn't in the truth, but she had all that already in place. So now she died, where she's gonna be buried, how she's gonna be buried, what she left. She didn't have no children, but where she left, everything was set up in play already. I was amazed at that. I said, wow, I think it was true. But she had everything intact already. So as we went there for the funeral, we buried her, and that was it. We didn't have to put no money, no expense. Oh, we'll get a funeral home. All that was put in play already. I was amazed how she did that, man.
No GoFundMe?
Yeah.
No GoFundMe?
Huh?
No GoFundme?
Right. That's
She
what
didn't
we
have
see
no
a lot
gold,
of.
you know what I mean? All she had left was just the property, you know what I mean? And so that was left for her brothers, but she had already set in clear. That amazed me to see that she didn't have the truth, but she already had those things already planned before she died, you know? So that's the same example that he's showing what Abraham did.
That's right. It should be inherent. So read Genesis 50:25 again.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 25. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, the Most High will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence.
He was given an inheritance and an instruction before he died. And then we find it come to pass. Give me Exodus 13:19. We find it coming to pass.
Exodus chapter 13, verse 19. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, the Most High will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham in the edge of the wilderness.
That's good. They carried up the bones in the wilderness. We find it even in the book of Joshua 24:32. And I'll read it. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt. You see, even the great concern. But he made it plain. Well, what are we doing with our people's bones? Elder Mathaf was talking about going into the land. Wait. Even imagine you now as we're getting, imagine we had that connection and that was left. How many of our people's bones we could take back to the land?
But they want to go back.
Oh, right.
Because Joseph let them swear.
Right. And then you would have to go back because you made a vow. You see what I'm saying? And that's blessings all around. You go back into the land. All right? So, once again, Joshua 24:32. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. We don't associate inheritance with this. What you're getting right now is the knowledge of inheritance. And it's through how you transition out of here. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit more information, and then I'll go over this document with you.
And Yakanan, could I say something now?
You sure can.
Because the history is coincide with that. Because I've been in Israel, where I've been in funeral in Israel, and the same day the person dies, the same day the person
That's
dies, right? And keep in mind, we believe in a Mashiach Yahushai, so we don't believe in death. So just like we read the Bible and he called out Lazarus,
That's
I
right.
believe that. So when you die over here, you go to the hospital and they take out your organs and they do all that stuff. That's not biblical neither. So it's
Right.
best, even the Muslim in Ghana, they bury same day and they keep the funeral 40 days later.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
if a Muslim die in Ghana, and that was the beauty about it. So when I see that they have that law there where you can bury the same day,
That's right.
I was happy and it was easy.
Right.
Because just like for brothers and sisters who were born in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, my grandmother buried in the back.
That's
My
right.
great grandmother, when she died, they would just dig a hole in the back because she was in the house for about 2 days. This was 89, 1990. I was scared as hell at that time.
Right.
And she just lied down there, they wrap her.
Right.
You understand me? There was nothing cut.
Right.
The elders of the city, the pastor, they come, they took her, they put her in the hole that we dig in the back of the house.
Right.
So you died in America, they want to do autopsy, they want to cut you, they want to take this out,
Right.
and then they stuff you back with paper.
Right.
You know how much time I see people go to funeral and they say that's not
That's
my
right.
husband?
That's right.
Do you understand me?
Right.
And even how many times people is on the fridge and wake up.
Right.
They pronounce them death and they wake up out the
Right.
coma.
Right.
Because what Yakanan said, death is not the end,
That's right.
it's a transition.
That's right.
So most of the even Yahushai said, our brother Lazarus is sleeping.
Right.
Didn't Yahushai say that?
Right.
He said Lazarus was sleeping. So if you go in that coma or transition, you're sleeping.
That's right.
Do you understand me? So that cut what you get, that might be what killing you, right?
That's right. That may be your last cut. That's right.
So as Israelites, we have to do our own marriages, our own circumcisions. We have to take care of our own death.
That's right.
So we know a couple brother, he was in our school, Cartazala. They never do no autopsy on him when he passed. And he was still in his 50s. We will not allow it. And Yawanatan, he was 34. When he passed, I remember Ben, he sacrificed himself for that Passover, right? It was Passover when he passed, and Ben have to sacrifice himself. Somebody have to bury it. Everybody in the
That's right.
school can't go and be unclean because some of you become religious. So if the entire school don't come to bury you, feel offended.
Right.
You understand me? But it was the time of the Passover, so we have to sacrifice one of our elders and say, you go do the burial, we continue that Passover.
That's right.
We go through this problem since the Mashiach shall have come, and we have understanding of it. So what Priest Yakanan is saying, I know he's going in the scriptures and show you the history. You understand me? But now, you get this class. Will you take heed? Because when you died, it tell you, Esau sleeping with some of the crops.
That's right.
A woman died or a man died, Esau will go in there and molest that dead body and all that
That's right.
stuff, man.
That's why that law is there.
So that's why the priest said he have the documents, everything. So if you don't put even the Christian church, as what Ben says, anti-do. The Christian church do that. They even leave inheritance for the church.
That's right.
If they do the insurance, they'll say, let the church get 5,000, let my daughter get 10,000, let 5,000
That's right.
bury me. The Christian church do that.
That's right.
So your legacy now, last statement, Yagana.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's right. I'm just
When they
taking
read in
over.
Maccabees, and they were killing that woman and her seven sons, right?
Mhm. That's right.
What the 7 sons said, we'll be back, but we know you will not be back.
That's right.
So no, you coming back when you transition. So what you leave in place for when you come back, you fall into?
That's right.
You pass, what? The truth must just stop, or you going to leave something to furlong the truth.
That's right.
So when you come back, you'll be part of that ministry likewise.
That's right.
Because the sons in Maccabees, they said, we are coming back. Even when they told the mother, said, listen man, tell your youngest son to sell out. The mother was laughing.
Right.
Because the mother know, we coming back. So when you transition, you will come back. So what inheritance you left to fall right back into?
That's right.
Keep in mind.
That's
Continue,
powerful
please.
what he said, even falling back into, because that's why to do it the biblical way is ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The way they bury you now, your body doesn't even allow to decay naturally. It can't even go back to the earth.
Mhm.
You're in a metal casket.
Prison.
You're in a prison. You can't even go back to the earth. So you have to make these things. And what are we mostly made of? The dirt. So and even in your body, everything about you goes back to the earth and resurrected.
You don't know if they dig it up and resell it.
There you go. There you go.
And let me say this to Priest Second.
Go ahead. That's right. Now you're gonna teach the class from now on.
Because you see.
I'm not worried.
You see, in Israel, if a Palestinian throw a stone, that's 25 years in prison. Stone throwing in Israel is worse than you punch somebody in his face or run a car over them. The stone is a big thing in Israel. I was there and see fight. It was me and Kartazala. And a Palestinian threw a stone. When he touched the ground, I only hear zoom, I see fire arc from the stone. But the difference is, when Israeli arrests a Palestinian, just to show you that important, and if the Palestinian get 10 years in prison, and he died in prison, 2 years, do you know Israel don't release the body? The body have to do 10 years, huh?
That's crazy. But that's what
That's
they do. You ever seen that
That's
movie
it.
with Wesley Snipes, the militia man?
Yes,
When
demolition.
When he was,
Yeah.
That's what they do to the Palestinians.
Yeah, Israel don't release the body.
They freeze the body and take
They
it
have to
certain
do the time, whether life or death.
That's heavy. They take that serious.
Yeah, that's how important that is.
That's right.
You understand me? Because they make sure, because you have to understand too, the spiritual aspect of burial. You understand me? When one died, the spirit come back for the body the third day, right?
Right, right.
What if the spirit can't find the body?
Right. Right.
What if the spirit, the body is on ice, or Israeli have it working what ritual they want with it? What happened?
Right.
Okay, keep in mind when Yahushua risen, he said Yahushua have to go to the underworld to free the souls that were what? Captive.
Captive, yeah.
So who hold those souls captive?
Right. Set the captives free. That's right.
Do you understand me? So you don't know how important that is. That's
right.
why when Moses died, they said Michael have to come and fight for his body.
That's right.
Because Satan there for it.
There you go.
And then when you pass now, Satan right there for it, just walking beside you, laughing
Right.
with you.
Right.
So that is transition
That's
is
right.
very important, brothers and
Right.
sisters. Because you don't know what these nations doing. When these popes and these queens and all these people died, how they bury them? Do they put them in fridge? No. You could see the queen. They have him in the hall, you could see him every day, they dress him everything.
That's right.
Yes, but
Right.
as soon as a black person died, the first thing they do is cut.
Right. Or the bomb. Right.
So the Satan is there to take your soul, your spirit, and just hold it.
Right.
We're not Moses. Michael will not come and fight for us.
That's right.
But Jude tell you that Satan come for Moses' body. So when you pass, who is coming for your body?
Right. That's powerful. Real. Think about this. When did Yahushua? What day did he lift up Lazarus?
The third day going down when the sun, because he said
Which
the
is
fourth
basically
day.
the fourth day.
Yes, because you know the spirit. You wait 2 days.
He did it on purpose.
Yes, because you know the spirit don't come
they
back.
knew that it's a part. They've seen it done.
Yes.
They've seen the spirit come back to the body within those days.
That's why Martha said, even now you could do it.
Yeah. Right.
Because Yahushua wait 2 days because I know the spirit don't come back for the body yet.
There you go.
So as soon as the spirit come back for the body, Yahushua said, remove it. Lazarus come forth. Because remember, it was even tarry. Because when Mary went to him, he tell Martha, tell Mary to come.
Right.
And then Mary go, and then he said, come on, we're going to do it. Because Mary said, we know Lazarus coming back in what? The resurrection.
Resurrection. That's right.
But we know you can bring him back before the resurrection.
Right.
So I don't believe in dead brothers
That's
and
right.
sisters. If
That's
I'm
right.
sleeping, I'll wake up.
That's
So
right.
don't put me in no coffin. Let my body touch the soil itself.
Well, you're going to be able to have all that written down plain. Nobody can make mistakes. So real quick, again, that's powerful information. For the outside, when we were in the outside of the promised land, burial in the ancestral territory continued to be important. For example, we said the body of Joseph was embalmed in Egypt. So we did do some of the customs based on the captivity
Mhm.
we were. But it's not the same embalming that they use, and I'll go into that another time. And return to Canaan, which is Genesis 50:26. In like manner, many Israelites of the dispersion, which were of the Roman period, preferred to be buried in the Holy Land.
Mhm.
The burial customs and practices, as with Abraham, were carried out amid outside cultural influence, but yet maintain their own distinctiveness. And that's what we're able to do. That's what I'm telling you about the Hebrew Israelite Burial Society. And for those of you who want to get involved, I'm going to give you the contact you have on that, who actually want to learn how to bury your brothers, and for the women to be able to bury your sisters. I actually did it for my brother, dearly departed Benjamite brother Obadiah, and I did the whole thing with Priest Kahan. We did it. Was that not a spiritual experience for us to see our brother there from start to finish? And I'm gonna let you talk because it's worth it. You want to say something about that?
Well, all praise be to Yahweh Shem Shai. So, unless you're put in a position, you really don't know what you're capable of doing.
Right.
I would have never imagined performing a burial, but that's the job of the priest. So, I was called upon to assist in burial. Well, actually, I also am part of the Great Burial Society community. Zapara actually has the whole thing. So this is a great class that we're offering. Some of you know that I am a licensed life insurance agent. Some of you I spoke to already. But these are things you put in place to create that insurance of having your things in order financially. Those of you that have been through burying family members, it costs a lot. Even those of you that are not knowledgeable of that do cremation is about $2,000 or $3,000 just to cremate the body. So imagine actually going through the whole burial, right? So I believe Yakanan, I think you were there first,
Right.
and I think you said if I didn't get there,
If you didn't get there, you'd have been buried two bodies. Because it was at night. And I mean, we could get, and this is the first time I ever, and this is my man, this is my brother. In the truth, in Christianity together, came into many years before I had children. It's my right hand. And having to know I gotta go in here, but it's my job. And like he said, I didn't know that I could do it, but when it felt like I had done it before.
Spiritual powers.
He gave you spirit. I was able to walk in there, and it was like it was a mission. It must be done, and you're the one to do it. So we have to do this. We have to. It's inevitable. It's in our face. So real, go ahead.
So just those of you that are interested in obtaining life insurance, you can give your names to Priest Yakanan, and I can set up a follow-up appointment to discuss what different options. But it's necessary. This is how the other nations create generational wealth for their children.
And their nation.
Right. So we don't know how much longer we're gonna be here. I mean, I can't actually. We were talking about. I remember being back at One West, and they said we'd be out here in the year 2000. Right. And what year is this? 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of men. Stop paying their mortgage. Year 2000, stop paying their car payment. They were giving away their money. Because they were thinking we'd be out of here. Quit their jobs, right? So, we were able to go through those things and look at the mistakes and tweak everything and make things so you behind us don't make those same mistakes. So this is beautiful. These different classes being set up that we can be successful just like the other nations. These are things that they do. We have this. The midwives, the first time I saw the midwives class when I actually went to Pomona, right? They have the midwives, but the first thing you do as a woman when you have a baby, they want to cut you, right? They want to give you a C-section, right? Actually, laying down, a woman's going to be standing up to,
Stoop.
They lay you down so they know you can't have the baby that way. They cut you open, and these are things that's against our culture, right? So we're putting all these things in motion. It's very important, and we want everybody to get involved because each and every one of you here was born with a gift.
Hallelujah.
So you have to identify that gift and put that gift in motion. So we have the midwives, we have the burial society, the other, organization that we have billing, so just, get in where you can fit in. So, Priest Youngkin has the paperwork. But all of that is a part of everything. You have your last will and testament. Those of you that are not legally married, we have Hebrew documentation that if you're not legally married, your spouse can still have jurisdiction over your burial.
Right.
If you're not legally married, because you'll be married within the community. So you have legal binding, Zachariah is a licensed notary as well, so everything is legally documented. And as far as the life insurance, you can have that where it's designated who gets what. So whoever, the place where you're buried, actually, I'm in talks with Zachariah now. We're in process of acquiring about 10 acres to create our own burial plot. So this is some of the things that we're working on. We're trying to get at least 10 to 15
And on
acres.
funeral home.
Right, all that's gonna be in the
All
same
the
location, it's gonna be in the same location. Funeral home, about 10 or 15 acres, that we have our own burial site. So these are things that we're saying, you don't know, these people spend $1,000 on caskets, they probably go in there, dig it out, wipe it down, and resell it. You understand? So that's why you're talking about the sensationalism of, when you're playing on your emotions, get you to spend this money, that money, things like that. That's against our culture. So, if you're interested in learning more information about the life insurance.
I'm getting ready to get into
Right, about putting, everything must be in writing.
Right.
Okay, you designate, who you want, to perform the burial, or, different things you want. You want a 21 gun salute, you want doves releasing the air, all that stuff, we have all that stuff written down.
Gotta be Israelite though.
Right?
Yeah.
You have all that stuff written aforetime. Like Elder Bunyan said, he was amazed that his aunt had all this stuff. Because that's the last thing you want. Your family member, friend is trying to figure out money, how they're gonna bury you, this and that. So be proactive and have all that stuff in place, before it happens. Because years ago, actually, there was he was about 30-some years old. I sold his brother a life insurance policy. He lived with cancer. And a lot of you might think, well, I'm 20 years old, I'm 25 years old, I don't need life insurance. Do you know when you're gonna go? The brothers have said, what's the brother was 34 years old?
Jonathan.
He was 34 years old, he passed, he had cancer. Right? So you don't know when your time is to go. So put things in place, and actually, when you get life insurance, the actual premium that's set at that particular time is the same premium for the longevity of that policy. It does not change. So if it's $20 when you started today, it's going to be $20 for the length of that policy, and it's going to stay the way. And actually, the younger you are, the cheaper the life insurance is. Because sometimes when you get up in an age, you might get denied. Or if you have like diabetes, high blood pressure, they're going to charge you for that. So instead of you paying $50, you're going to end up paying $200 because you have bad health. So, take care of that now. Like I said, give Priest Youngkin your name, your contact number, or you can see me directly, give me information, and I'll follow up with you whenever it's convenient.
God, all praise it.
So we just recently had a broad guy in our congregation just last month. He passed away. His name was Rakanaya.
Rakanaya.
And Zachariah did his funeral. Everything was put in place. And his desire was to be buried down in Georgia.
Right.
And that's it.
You gotta make it plain, con. So I'm gonna give you this information. They hijacked my class, but it's important. It's important. So I'm gonna give you the information to get in contact. So my email, and this is all connected, like Chief Priest Kahan said, with Zachariah, the Hebrew Israelite Burial Society. He's an elder out of One West, and we're all in connection with him. Matter of fact, he was actually gonna send a representative from here to this class, but he was unable to attend. But my information is Yakanan, which is YACHANAN 77 @gmail.com. YACHANAN 77 @gmail.com. I've actually got it set up. If you send me your email at 8 o'clock tonight, if you want, there's some virtual classes which Zachariah will be on. if you wanna call, get on that link, and we'll go over some things with you, go a little bit more in depth, and you'll be able to do what I've already done, which, Priest Kahan was talking about, which is a directive for Torah observant Tahara, funeral, burial, and legacy. So I've got that done. I've already done it. Everything that needs to be filled out, I'll show you right here. In mine, already been notarized. And it, of course, it's the cost involved, but even as he mentioned, the $2,000 for the money that they pay, that you would pay a regular funeral home, if those funds were invested back into the Hebrew Israelite Burial Society, it is less than a third of what you would pay. So you don't have to do that. Matter of fact, in mine, much to my ribs here, much to her, we still gonna negotiate. I may have to go back in it, because my directive says, when I die, you bury me, you prepare me in my home. That's one of the, and a lot of people don't know that that's lawful. My wife said she got to go by the bedroom every time, wherever they did it, and see me and remember them wrapping me up. You get over it, it'll be all right. We'll discuss it.
Well, priest,
Go ahead.
let me interrupt again.
Go ahead.
In Ghana,
Good.
Your email one more time, please.
Okay, YACHANAN.
Too fast, do it slow.
Oh, y'all didn't hijack my pen. YACHANAN 77@gmail.com. And yeah, if you could make sure, if you send me your email, for those of you who want to get
Send
to
the
this
name.
virtual, for the name, the email, send it to my email, and we'll get you on that link tonight at 8 o'clock so you get some more information. I knew this was gonna happen, you see what I'm saying?
and in
Already
Ghana,
knew it.
when you died in Ghana and they're doing a funeral,
Good.
they bring you back to the house. You have to spend a night back in your house, and then they bury the next day.
You see that?
So you will pass and you see somebody have it dead, they put it in a tent outside the house. And then they bury it tomorrow. So if tomorrow is a funeral,
That's right.
you have to spend tonight in the house.
That's right. That's right. It tells you here the contact information. As a Torah observant Israelite, I reject and prohibit autopsies, medical study, scientific experimentation, organ or tissue donation of my body to science, embalming, cremation, and all other anti-Torah practices. It goes into, it tells my pallbearers, whoever, it may change. I go into the details of, you can't be, ain't nobody coming in there twerking. I got all types of details. This is something that for time's sake, I'm gonna end it, but this is
The
a
sister have a
directive.
question, take her question, and then
Okay,
we end
I
it.
will. This is a directive for Torah observant Tahara, funeral, burial, and legacy. And so we'll be able to go into a little bit more details tonight if you so choose.
Just
Good.
to say one thing. When you get back to your home state, verify your license information again, because like when you get your license, they ask you want to be a donor. Some of you may have rushed, then, whatever. Check back and see if you said that you opt out to be a donor, because if you didn't, they will be coming to your body.
Right. Go ahead, sis. You had a question. Salaki.
Shamai?
Good.
What happens to family members that have already been?
Well, in terms of them not knowing, of course, we know that that's where the grace and mercy comes in, prior to their understanding. But that's what we want to prohibit now. We want to put that to an end and leave these specific directives. Even in my directives, my children, which two of my daughters are here now, my children know what I left them to do. My part of the inheritance is make sure that they continue in the Hebrew Israelite Burial Society. Like Joseph said, promise that you bury me in the land, promise that you do your children the same way that their grandfather was done. And that we don't go away from this. That's in that directive. So you can put all these details. It's notarized, that document is done. Most times, if something happened to me before, it's already done. They know who to contact, over with, And so that's what we want to do. So I appreciate the time. Like I said, y'all can contact